in stop and go traffic here. About 6:14 on a Wednesday on 410. Woof. This is exactly why I got a CVT. Now, the only two, I think it's the only two cars on the market that actually offer the manual gearbox in a base model is the Civic and the Toyota Corolla. As the year of 2023, the Corolla has dropped the manual box for a base level Corolla. You must get the GR for that. And they're charging 30, 40, 50K for those bad boys. Come on now. Honda, however, cares about people and cares about the consumer and cares about the future of spirited driving. So they let people choose. However, my Civic, I could not order one. I couldn't build to order one. I just had to take what was on the lot. So what they had was the Aegean blue sedan with the 8-speed CVT. The 8-speed CVT has me a little bit concerned. Thankfully, I'm not in a Nissan, and I don't have a Nissan CVT, but I don't know. I don't trust these CVTs just yet. We're gonna have to see, especially on Sunday when I'm kind of ripping through gears, taking off, slowing down, engine braking quite a bit. We're gonna see how the gear ratios stack up. I have an 8-speed, so it should be theoretically easier and faster and just all around better than the classic 4-speed automatic that was offered in those Hondas for the longest time. The 1992 Accord that I had for, I don't know, an episode and a half also had the same, not the same exact transmission, but it's on that same family line. It was pretty much just an older version of what ended up in my R18 FG1. So, anyways, that's my spiel while I'm in gridlock traffic about the CVT, the 8-speed that I have now. I'm excited to see how it goes. I believe the Eco, Normal, and Sport all have different gear ratios. The gear ratios change per drive mode. So, is Sport the fastest drive mode? Is Normal the fastest drive mode? I know for sure Economy is not the fastest. It's very, very lackluster, should I say, as far as speed and visceral speed and all that. Doesn't have it. Not in that Eco mode. That's not what that's for. But I'm curious to see what situations warrant a normal driving mode versus the Sport mode. Is Sport mode all around better for sport application? We're gonna have to find out. Alright, now I gotta pay attention to traffic so I don't crash into nobody. Allow me to formally introduce you to Monday, my 2023 Honda Civic. Let's pop open the hood and let's see what kind of heart this beast has. Now I wanted to stop playing around with my single overhead cam 1.8, the R18 engine that was in my 8th gen coupe. And I got pretty much something that's similar to the SI model's engine. This is the K20C2, 2.0 liter, naturally aspirated K20. As you can see, this has the NA setup, so there's no turbo and stuff like that. There's a lot of room in here. I can get in here to work. Maybe we can put a turbo in later. But every time I promise that, it's never ever happened. So for right now, this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what I need. It's very much similar to my 8th gen. The engine mounts over here. You know, the airbox comes over here. The battery is a little bit further back than before. But everything looks so similar. and close to the same. AC lines running about the same pattern. I do notice that I believe the ABS box is up against the firewall back here. And one thing that I do love about this that's different than my 8th gen is this right here. Accessible shock towers in the front. I'm not throwing any coilovers or anything on it, but in the future, it's good to know I won't have to rip the cowl off and mess with all that to change up my front suspension settings. Along the side of this 11th gen, you'll notice that they changed up the body lines just a little bit for this generation. The last generation, the 10th gen, had a little bit of lines over the wheel arches, but now, as you can see, they still have that defined line of the wheel arch, but now they have this striking bold line all the way across the belt line or the waistline of the car. Looks quite smooth, looks quite sexy. Unfortunately, it kind of looks like, if you just look at this portion of the rear, maybe kind of a BMW vibe. It seems like all the industry is switching to this similar style. I don't know why. I don't like it. I kind of like when all brands and stuff are unique, truly unique. But what can you do? We have 18-inch alloy wheels here, 18 by 8 in black. A couple of the features are blacked out on this model already. I have the black belt molding, black side mirrors, of course the black wheels like I just talked about, and I don't have any accessories. HPD offers a side skirt, rear lip, and front lip kit for this model. Maybe sometime soon in the future I can get that, but for now, this stock side skirt is quite aggressive. I mean, it comes out, kind of comes out and shoots back in. This is quite a nice gap right here. I like that. As far as doors go, I have 4 doors now, so hopefully the weight distribution will be shifted a little bit further back than in my coupe. So I'm happy to try that out. Let's walk around the back side. Around back, we have a natural kind of curve to the back of the trunk lid here, kind of reminiscent of a ducklet, but it's not as aggressive. This is a very, very general consumer engineered rear spoiler here. We have silver badges still, no blackout badges. They do offer that as an accessory. As you can see here, these lights they're not smoked. The lenses are clear, but behind that isn't chrome, it's black. So it kind of gives the effect of a smoked look. A couple of reflectors here. Turn signal is on the outside. Reverse light is on the trunk lid itself. And of course this lights up with an LED, and I'll show you that in a quick second. Single exhaust in the back here. Notice how it's shifted back to one side. They gave up on the center exhaust. I like the center exhaust, not gonna lie. Small rear window here. This is the sedan model, so the trunk lid, rear window, and almost the whole thing is a little bit different. But as you can see, this is the sedan version. The hatch pops open, also comes with a turbo, but we won't talk about that. Over here on this side, we have a push to release gas cap with a capless fueling system. In the interior here, we have a new design for this generation. Look at these grates. That is probably the most attractive looking dashboard I've seen on a Civic since the 8th gen. We have a heads-up display. Well, not a heads-up display. We have a entertainment center right here. Let me turn down the AC so you guys can don't get all that wind noise. We have a radio up here. This is navigating me back to Buc-ee's. Our gauge cluster here, the speedometer, the needle is analog, but everything else about this gauge cluster is digital. I'm going to turn it off and turn it back on so you guys can see that. See how it turns into a different kind of changes screens there? You guys can't really see it very well, but the needle, you can still see the needle. I'm going to start it up. And this face on the right here can change to a couple different modes here. So, you know, you can go to your speed, you know, engine hours. Of course, everything you're going to need to know is going to be available through this screen here. I usually just like to keep it on the range and the MPGs. Come over to the center stack here. We have our HVAC controls, very, very familiar. This is a digital display as well. You can cycle through your different modes. Pops up on your screen for you as you change it. You know, you get your defrost, front defrost, AC on and AC off. And of course, you can just turn it on and off like that. Down in the center in the middle, excuse the mess, I'm traveling right now, but you do have your gear shifter here. 4 different locations. No shifting up and down with the actual hand shifter here. All you get is prin, no prindle, just prin. Drive mode, as I said before, click it up and click it down, and over here on your electronic display, you'll see what mode that you have. You can get a cool little picture of what that driving might be. Yeah, normal, it's in the city. Eco, you know, you're going through fields. And sport is just red stuff going everywhere. Down here as well, we do have our auto start, the auto off, auto start toggle button, our electronic e-brake, and of course our brake hold. Brake hold is pretty nice in hill situations. Thankfully I don't have a clutch to deal with, but the brake hold will just hold the brakes. You can take your foot off of the brake pedal itself and it'll hold the car in place. Up here we just have a 12 volt cigarette lighter. Right now my dash cam is plugged in. 1 USB port and a passenger airbag indicator light. Over here to the left on the driver's side, this is the adjustment for the brightness. So you can see that little light bulb indicating what we're doing right now. This is the ADAS traction control button. And on the door, we have something very similar to a 8th gen sedan. This is very close, very reminiscent of it. One thing I do like that they added is they took out the center strip between the buttons. So if you want to push the 2 front ones down, you can put your finger right in the middle and lower both windows down, raise them up. Same thing. Same with the back. These are not automatic, but you can hold them down and they'll roll down just fine. Unlock. Mirror switches are on this door as well as a trunk release. Steering wheel. Lots of good stuff on the steering wheel. We have radio controls, this home, and this scrolling button here. This is an infinity scroll button, and the scroll is for this gauge system. Push to talk, cruise control, lane keep assist, and cruise control following distance. Wiper stalks are very reminiscent of the older Civics. 4 positions, off, intermittent, low and high for your wipers, and you actually have auto headlights on this model, which is quite nice. Paddle shifters, you can see them, they're very, very small here, plus and minus. Like I said, this is an 8-speed automatic. Push to start button in red because we about to go fast. And that's pretty much kicks it for the interior. The rear, there's really not much to talk about. This is your hazard switch right here in the middle. I like that. And these climate controls, I just want to go over this one quick second. You know, you can just pull it, point it to the direction here. In the center, you don't have control to turn it off or on, like shut the vents or not, but on the two sides, you do have a slider to control that. Okay, now that we've done kind of a little introduction to my new sedan out here, let me show you guys the wheels that I got just a couple minutes ago. These are off of a TSX wagon. Nice and silver, 17-inch rim, I believe by 7.5, like I mentioned earlier. I'm gonna need to find some Honda center caps for these bad boys. Honestly, I was just told that center caps can actually melt if you're autocrossing them too hard, or maybe tracking them too hard. You can actually melt the center cap of your wheel. I thought that was so insane. I don't think I'll be doing that. I don't have no big brake kit. I shouldn't be producing that much heat in my brakes. In the coupe, I didn't have enough to melt the center caps on my wheels. But that's interesting. It's an interesting thing. Maybe somebody needs to make some heat-resistant center caps. I don't know. Anyways, we have all 4 wheels in the back here, and I will have to get some different tires because these are kind of clapped. These right here are 225 50 17s, so these should be a decent tire size for me to run. I have to check the rules on the tire sizes because I might have to run kind of something that's very, very similar to what's on the car, which is a 235 40 18. So they're not too far off, but they are different for sure. So we're gonna have to get home and get this car up on jacks and switch out the wheels and see how it looks. I'm not gonna do it here at the parking lot of the Alamo Dome because I don't have a jack. Honestly, I need to go to Harbor Freight and get a aluminum racing jack, something a little bit more lightweight than what I've been using. Just the classic Harbor Freight. I think it's like a 2-ton jack, but the thing is way too heavy. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is the new car. I have sold almost the whole lot of my vehicles. The Jeep is gone, the Firebird is gone, and my FG1 8th Gen Civic is gone. So this is all I have now. This is my pride and joy. This is Monday, Blue Monday. I'm gonna get back in the car, head back to Austin, and I'll check back in with you guys in a little bit.